here to prove yourself. Hunting something that can't be killed.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2025 Predator sequel, Predator Badlands. The film is co-written and directed by Dan Trachtenberg, and it stars Elle Fanning and a chap whose name I have no idea how to pronounce, so I'm not going to butcher it here, who plays the Predator, Dec. Now, the film focuses on this young predator, Dec. He is considered to be the runt of his clan. He's out hunting with his big brother. The father turns up, who is not happy that Dec is still alive and orders his brother to kill him because he sees him as weak. The brother refuses and sends Dec to his chosen place to complete his hunt so that he can earn his shield, earn his place within the tribe, so to speak. And this planet is the most dangerous planet in the galaxy, apparently. There is one particular prey there that even scares the Predator elders. It is seemingly unkillable, so Dec has chosen this as his trophy to prove his worth to the clan. He gets to this planet, he discovers Elle Fanning's character, Thea, who is a synthetic from the Wayland Corporation, who is there with a group of other synthetics who are there kind of trying to capture this creature themselves. They end up teaming up, they end up bonding, and they end up coming head-to-head with this creature, but also the synthetics within the Wayland Corporation. Right, what are my thoughts on Predator Badlands? Well, I think Dan Trachtenberg has got a real feel for this franchise. His 2020 film, was it 2021? Prey, I really enjoyed. I loved the change of time period. I loved the shift that it gave us there. It gave us a strong female lead, without, pandering to this modern woke nonsense. I loved the style of the Predator in that film. I thought it was a real fresh injection of ideas into the franchise that it so desperately needed. And then earlier this year we got Predator Killer of Killers, was it? That animated anthology that that Dan Trachtenberg was behind, and I just thought that was brilliantly done. And now we've got his third turn in this franchise, Predator Badlands. Now, I remember when the trailer for this first came out, there was a lot of discourse from people who have obviously got an agenda against Disney, saying it looked Disney-fied, it looked CGI heavy, it looked blah, 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 all that absolute twaddle. I really, really hate people prejudging a film off a trailer before it's, ever been seen. Because they've got nowhere to go. When the film comes out, how many of them actually back down and say, oh, actually, I really enjoyed the film, I was wrong? None of them. And you will see some of those people in our space on YouTube that did just that when the trailer came out, that are calling this film out, saying it's Disney-fied, etc., etc. I'm sorry, but I really enjoyed this. Again, it breathes new life into the Predator franchise, just like Prey did, just like the animated anthology Killer of Killers. He's got some brilliant ideas, Dan Trachtenberg. Do they all work? No, not really, but he's hitting more than he's missing, I would suggest here. We've never had a Predator as a protagonist in any of the films. We've hinted that we've seen before, hints at and bits and pieces of their culture, the Predators, and all that kind of stuff. But this is the first time it's really leaned into that and shown us what it's all about and what it's like to kind of be a young predator on the hunt, especially one considered to be the runt like Dec is. I just loved the approach. I was sold on this very quickly when I started watching it because I'm just kind of like, yes, this is what I want here. And the film does a really good job of making Deck, first and foremost, a formidable predator, despite his size and compared to some others in his clan, but also making him vulnerable so that we have something to relate to with this predator. If it was an all-powerful predator that is, kicking ass left, right, and centre, then we wouldn't have been able to really relate to it. And one that was just merciless. What we get here is a predator that essentially is quite free-thinking and thinks for himself. And I like that. I really did like that. I thought the addition of Elle Fanning here as this synthetic Thea, I thought she did a really fine job here in this film. There was a real likeness to her character and great chemistry between her and the Predator that I thought worked really well. She actually plays two roles in the film. She kind of plays like synthetic sisters. So we've got Thea, who is kind of like the creative and curious one, I suppose. And then you've got the other one, whose name I forget, that is more dark and sinister and cold. And she does them both really well. Do you know what I mean? So a fine performance by her. Now, in regards to this being Disneyfied, okay, they've toned it down to get a wider audience, but that's not to say this film isn't violent. The difference between the violence in this film and what we've seen in previous Predator films is the violence here is not human related. There are no humans in the film. You've got like synthetics from the Wayland Corporation. Every human looking thing you see in this film is a synthetic. So therefore, when he's taking out these synthetics and killing them, they're not real people. Same with the creatures on the planet. Same with the battles with the predators. It's all alien on alien violence. So that's how they've smartly got around that and get the PG-13 or the 12A in this country that it's looking for. I don't see a problem with that. I really don't. People might be kicking off left, right, and centre. Why aren't we getting all the violence that we've had in previous Predators? There's plenty of violence here. It's just a different kind of violence. Then you've got this little companion that essentially is the baby of this massive creature that he is hunting, Deck. It's a baby version of it that ends up kind of teaming up with him and Tia. Okay, that might be a little bit Disneyfied, but I don't care. It was cute and I liked it. So I didn't have a problem with that either. Didn't have a problem with any of those things in here in the film. I thought Dan Trachtenberg delivered a really badass Predator film here. He's exploring the lore even more. He's exploring the Predator culture even more. And I'm hoping now, from everything we've seen in Prey, everything we've seen in Predator, Killer of Killers, and everything we've seen in Badlands, that we get another film from him that kind of combines everything we've seen from all three of them, brings them all together in one real, slobber knocker of a film. I would really, really like to see that, and I'm up for seeing that. And I like the direction that the Predator franchise has been going in since Prey. I think it's the right call. If you just continue to give us what we've had before, we've seen all that. We saw the Predator in 2018. It failed for a number of reasons. It failed. The franchise needed new direction, new ideas. It needed different creative forces behind it. And now that we've got it, I think we should be really pleased because genuinely there's a real future for this franchise now. Dan Trachtenberg has given us that. I don't see him particularly dropping the ball. As long as he just kind of doesn't believe his own press sort of thing and, he lets his ego take over. I think we are going to still get more great Predator films as a result of this new direction. And I'm all for that. I think it's really, really good. And I definitely recommend going to see Predator Badlands. I think it's a great addition to the franchise. Something a little bit different. Don't listen to the naysayers, guys. Go and watch this yourself and make your own mind up. So that's my thoughts on Predator Badlands. Really enjoyed it. And I will, of course, see you back on the channel with plenty more content very, very soon.